Don't let college stop you. If you're a college student and you're listening to this video, this might be your sign. So yeah, me and my editor noticed that majority of our viewers are young adults. I figured that I could talk about my experience as a freelance artist during college. I feel like it's one of the interesting phases in my life. All the challenges, the adversaries, the perks that I experienced are quite interesting to talk about. And I feel like it's quite a unique experience, but at the same time, most people who are in college can kind of relate to. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm still a normal college student, just with the extra perk of being a freelance artist. Well, first of all, before we get to college, I actually started, well, not really start, but more like dabbled into like digital art back in... I'm talking about that too much. Here's the full lore drop if you want to listen to it. Just click here. Anyways, yeah, so I got into commissions, and eventually college came right around in the corner, and it was still in the midst of the COVID pandemic, so we didn't have face-to-face classes. It was all online, so I was still living under the comfort of my parents' roof, which means I could do commissions while in online class. Yes, I wasn't listening to my professors most of the time. Sometimes I was sleeping, sometimes I was, you know, scribbling away, working on commissions. So yeah, around first and second year college, my commissions weren't really doing crazy well. Like, I was earning some amount of money. It's not like some crazy amount of money. I mean, obviously we all have our humble beginnings, but I kind of just really enjoyed doing it because obviously I really loved art. In fact, back then I don't think YouTubers were like my major clients. Like, most of my commissions back then are just random random people from Facebook. I also wasn't a fish back then. Eventually, I heard that the COVID situation is kind of starting to get better, and eventually we will have to start face-to-face classes. That kind of came in and forced me to make a decision, because the college that I enrolled in was 2 hours commute away. So I honestly don't want to commute like every day, 2 hours back and forth. So that's like 4 hours of my time wasted. I didn't really want that to happen. So the dilemma we had was I could move to somewhere near my college, which I think a lot of college students can relate to that. But in my case, was kind of different, because I had the money to be able to live alone, because, you know, I'm earning enough from my commissions. Well, not like crazy amount, but during second year college, I was earning like a good amount. My mother was against the idea, because my mother has been taking care of me ever since I was young, and she doesn't really want to like leave me alone, and typical worrywart mother. But yeah, eventually I also talked to my dad, and my dad was like really into that idea, because my father kind of prefers to have me become independent, because that's like the norm in their country. Eventually, we came to the decision that I'll live alone somewhere in Manila. So that's what happened. I started living alone in Manila, and I was in my third year of college. I'm taking architecture, by the way. It was a really wild and new, fresh experience for me to live alone, like completely alone. Now here's the interesting part. I think when someone lives alone can either make or break them. When I was living alone, I was able to like really focus on my career as a freelance artist. I don't know, there's something about being alone that makes it so that you're like more focused. There's just something nice about being an adult, and something nice about having that independent freedom. It was fun. I'm finding it difficult to put to words why or how, but it was overall a fun experience. Now, the thing that really challenged me back then though was the fact that I am, you know, kind of boating between two rivers. I'm trying to pursue a freelance artist career. At the same time, I'm also pursuing college. And I feel like third year was the worst year in my college life, load-wise. And, you know, like, we're kind of used to the online class setting where I could, you know, sleep during discussions and kind of just cheat away during the exams. I was still kind of like trying to adjust to the new setting, and there's a lot of like new things that I have to figure out. Like, you know, it's a new place away from my city. Living alone comes with a lot of responsibilities, like cleaning your house, cleaning your clothes, getting your food, like cooking your food, getting the ingredients, managing your refrigerator, paying the utilities, the rent, blah blah blah. It's a lot of things, like even the internet. It's basically really tiring. And you know, architecture is kind of notorious for being one of those really difficult, which I think is true, but I somehow managed to survive. I somehow managed to survive it. I do remember that in third year I was having so little sleep because I'm just doing commissions at night and doing most of my schoolwork at day, and it was really tiring. I guess that's the biggest challenge of being both a freelance artist and a college student at the same time. Really is the amount of time you need to spend doing schoolworks and studying and actually like doing your commissions. However, I feel like what made me kind of survive and what made me go through that without, you know, burning myself out or anything, is the fact that I really enjoy doing my commissions. It kind of feels like taking a break. I was always like, oh my god, I can't wait to finish this project or this plate or this exam because I want to do commissions. Most of my time is like cycling in between commissions and studies, basically, plus the added work of living alone. So yeah, I guess that's what kind of helped me. It's because that I really enjoy doing a lot of the stuff that I do. So instead of like resting by, you know, doing other things, I'm resting by doing more work, but it's just different kind of work. But then around fourth year college, at this time I think it was where my commissioning career actually really prospered. But it was around fourth year that I realized that I'm making a good amount of money doing commissions. But the problem was my parents, they didn't really want me to pursue art as a career or like a, you know, like a job or a long-term source of income. They wanted me to like pursue it just as a hobby. So that kind of came with the problem that I have to convince my parents that I want to pursue art and not architecture. Because at that point I was like, yeah, I think I really enjoy drawing cute anime women. Particularly VTubers. Don't get me wrong, I do like architecture. I experienced working as a apprentice for a couple months and I really enjoyed my time there. But it's just that I enjoy drawing anime women much more, and it also pays me more. So I was like made up in my mind that I need to open this up to my parents. And what I did was I just basically took my annual income and showed it to my father, and I was like, "Father, this is my annual income from last year, and judging by the amount, I think this is a viable source of income and therefore a career worth pursuing." And they were like, "Yeah, sure, looks great." So yeah, there I got the green lights from my parents to pursue art instead of architecture. But then I also promised them that I still want to finish architecture because I want to give them the diploma that they always wanted. It was around this time, fourth year, that I kind of like became crafty when it comes to managing my time, because that's like the biggest question, right? Like, Peesh, how in the world are you able to pursue architecture and at the same time work on commissions? Which, by the way, I'm not saying it's easy, but yeah, I got crafty eventually. So what I did to kind of lessen the time I spend on schoolworks is by getting someone else to do my schoolworks. So I basically offered some of my friends to do some of the schoolwork that I didn't want to do, especially the ones that I deem kind of pointless. You know what I mean. That way I could spend more time working on commissions and earn more money that I can pay my classmates. It's a win-win situation. And also my clients are happy because they can get some art from me. That was basically what really helped me survive college. Pay to win. But I would recommend not doing it for every single schoolwork. I would recommend taking some of the schoolwork that you think are helpful, that you think are actually gonna help you learn something, especially if you're interested in what you're taking in college. Because I was interested in architecture. Even now, I'm still interested in architecture. Another thing was that I started to kind of be smart with like chores. I used to laundry my own laundry, and I realized I could just pay someone to do my laundry, and oh my god, the amount of time it saved me, because you know, it's kind of insane how much time you spend when doing the laundry. You're gonna have to like clean all your clothes in the washing machine, you have to sort it, you have to dry it, you have to hang it to dry. Oh, it's such a pain in the ass. Can't believe that I did that like early on. Basically, I was just delegating most of the stuff that I didn't want to do so that I could spend more time doing commissions. And it was also at this time that I considered streaming, because I'm like, yeah, I've been able to like save a lot of time from not doing schoolwork. And that kind of persisted, like the same thing kind of persisted till 5th year. I was actually even able to do other stuff like sports. I was doing badminton. By the end of 5th year, I started to get into bouldering. I was doing like a bunch of extracurricular stuff. So I was really enjoying my time. Anyways, the point of this whole video, I just wanted to share my experience, but also at the same time encourage those artists that are interested in pursuing an art career, assuming that they are in college or considering to take up college, are kind of scared to try doing both at the same time, because I hear that a lot. This story is more of like a testimony that it's possible. Maybe it's harder for some, maybe it's easier for some. In my experience, it was definitely challenging, but if someone were to ask me if I would do it again, I would definitely choose to work as a freelance artist during college. I don't know if it's just in my country. I always hear people say that, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to focus on my studies because I'm gonna be in college. I would say that thought has definitely crossed my mind, but I feel like it's the crossroads that I encountered, whether or not I would pursue art while in college. The crossroad is either I could just focus on college, or I could focus only on art, or somewhere in the middle, which is do both. Maybe I'm just workaholic after all. But yeah, if I decided to not focus on art and just focus on college, then I wouldn't be here. Peesh wouldn't be a thing probably. If it was possible for me, then I think if you play your cards right, I think it's also possible for you. But you know, we all have our own circumstances. We all have our reasons, excuses mayhaps, to each their own, I guess. But yeah, I'm here to encourage. Go pursue your passion. Don't let college stop you. If you're a college student and you're listening to this video, this might be your sign. Not to quit college, by the way. I mean, if you want to quit college, that's up to you. But I would recommend taking college, but not only college. Try to pursue something while in college. You got this. I guess that's all. Peace.